Well, welcome to Afternoon Math with Audrey. My name is Audrey Codner, and I'm the owner of Math by Audrey, and formerly known as ACG Math Tutoring. And I was a classroom teacher for like 22 years, and I just completed 6 years of online tutoring. So now, enough about me. Let's talk about you. You have a test that's coming up. You've been trying to think about it. You've been kind of putting it off to the side, maybe even dabbling in a little bit of studying here and there. But guess what? You still have a test coming up. Are you ready? Are you prepared? Or are you worried that you won't get it this time? You've taken practice exams and you either missed it by 10 points or maybe even 15 or more. But are you ready this time? You don't have to dwell on your last failures, as you like to put it. And it's not failures, it's just you getting the practice in. Trying to see how the test is designed. See how, if you are having a professor that's instructing, that first exam is always the hardest. Because one, how long has it been since you've been in the classroom? Forever, right? And now you're trying to get yourself back acclimated into taking instruction from someone, organizing and writing down notes, at the same time trying to process. And as you do it, and if you haven't done it that way in a while, it's going to take time to get acclimated. So what I do is I present to you my Algebra at Your Pace, where I break down a lot of the concepts that you are going to see in the GED, the ASVAB, the Accuplacer, the TEAS test, the HESI test, okay, maybe even parts of the GREs. Or maybe you have a person that's going from 8th grade to high school math and you're wondering if they're going to be ready. So this takes you through step by step. There's a QR code that will give you a listing of all of the recordings as I break down each section step by step. So now you don't have to guess anymore. I think that the GCF of 6 is 2 or is it 3? I don't know. So with me breaking these concepts down, it takes that guesswork out of the way, so now you can focus on what you need to do. Pass the stupid test. Right? Because I know that's exactly how you feel. But it's not because that you're dumb. It's not because that, hey, I just didn't get an opportunity. It's because a lot of our foundational math is weak. We haven't done addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division without a calculator in a long time. So with us not knowing these 4 things, we're going to struggle with fractions because that's division. We're going to struggle with decimals. We're going to struggle with percents. So if we don't have our roots really sounded, it's going to be hard for us to do algebra. Okay? And with algebra, I feel like it's the heart of all the extended math that you see. But you're taking a test that contains either most or all of these things, and yet your algebra skills, you haven't used algebra in forever. So then you feel overwhelmed. You feel like giving up. And this is the one thing I'm telling you, that you are not going to give up. All right? You have someone that's here to break it down step by step and slow as possible. Do I have any books for reteaching the basic math to a teenager? Yes, I do. The link is in my profile. Okay? But if anything, you can also DM me. Okay? If you want to DM me to give me a little more insight of your teen, I'm more than willing to talk you through it, okay? So what we're going to do today, and it's going to be a quick day, is function notation. So sometimes a lot of us get confused with certain things. With function notation, we have certain different types of functions. You can have an F function, you can have a G function, you can have an H function, you can have a P function, a Z function, whatever. The functions are there to tell you which expression we're going to use to substitute our number into. So right here we have our G function. So with our G of x equals 5x minus 7, and they want us to find the G of 2. So if you notice, the 2 and the x, they're in the same spot. So that's basically saying that wherever you see an x, in this case, you're going to substitute a 2. So if I go with the written part, the g of 2 is me basically taking this expression, 5x minus 7. I'm replacing the x with a 2. Okay? So we are not doing anything with the g of 2. That's where a lot of people get confused. This is just the reminder of what you substitute in for x. Okay? So from this point on, we are not looking at the left-hand side of the equation. We're just going to focus on this expression. So now we have 5 times 2, that gives us 10. Bring down the minus 7. And then 10 minus 7, that gives you 3. So the answer of g of 2 is equal to 3. That's it. Okay, so all you're doing is taking what's inside the parenthesis, substituting in for the x, and then you are simplifying using PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, anytime you simplify expressions, that should be the first thing to come in your head. Unless you're one of our lovely international students, you have BODMAS. Okay, so you have your brackets, your others, your division, multiplication, addition, then subtraction. All right, so that was first example. So we're not getting too crazy. We got a total of 4 examples because today is actually going to be a quick class, if I guess I could say. All right, so let me zoom in a little bit. It don't seem so distant. So for example 2, let me just show the card. That makes it so much easier, right? So again, we have another g of x, but this time we have a different expression at the end. So we have g of x is equal to negative 2x plus 9. Find the g of negative 5. What do you guys come up with? Put into the chat. Okay, put into the chat. Okay, so I'm kind of working on speed, but I'm also looking at accuracy. So speed and accuracy. Okay, that's going to be today's mention. Okay, my yellow heart, I see you. Mark, I see you. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for the follows and the shares. Appreciate you. Jasmine, I see you. Okay. All right. If you're not sure, put a question mark into the chat. Okay, this is how we're going to learn. Okay, we're going to learn and we're going to grow. All right. Can I get one more person, one more brave soul? There she is. Hello, Michelle. Thank you so much. Okay, good. All right. So let's see how everybody right now is getting the same answer. So they're giving us our function, which is our g of x equals negative 2x plus 9. And they want us to find the g of negative 5. So that means whatever's inside the parenthesis, that's what we're replacing for the x. So that means we have our negative 2, bring down our plus 9, and what goes in is our negative 5. Okay? So we have to understand the rule. So now we are not, oh, where'd my paper go? Here it goes. We are not looking at the left-hand side. We're just covering it up. And we're only focusing on this expression here. So a negative times a negative. This is what gets some of you guys, okay? A negative times a negative, that gives me a positive. And a positive what? 2 times 5 gives us 10. Then we bring down our plus 9. And then 10 plus 9, that's where everyone's getting the 19. So that means the g of negative 5 is equal to 19. Ladies and gentlemen, what you guys are finding are basically points that's on your graph. Okay, Sleepy, I see you, thank you. Sasa, I see you, and Sani, I see you. Okay, so what you're finding is ordered pairs, a point that's on this linear graph. How do I know it's linear? Because my exponent, my highest degree associated with the variable, if you don't see it, is assumed to be a 1. Anything with the highest degree of 1 is an expression, I should say, with the highest degree of 1, that is a linear function. Okay, so you just basically found an ordered pair, -5, 19. You just found an ordered pair. Congratulations. All right, and let's do another one. Okay, this one is going to be a word problem. All right, and I know everybody's like, ugh, we were doing so well. No, relax, because you are going to encounter some word problems here and there. But look what they're doing. You don't have to read the whole thing. If they ever give you an equation, immediately go to what you need to find. So we're focusing on the S of S is equal to S squared. Okay? Figuring out what the area is and all that, we don't care about that. We're trying to go straight to our answer. So what are we substituting for the S? What are we substituting for the S? Okay. Thank you for the rose, Mark. Appreciate you. What are we substituting for the S? What's going in to our lovely equation? Let me put our equation in red for us. Okay, what's going in? And if you're not sure, because I think a lot of you guys are just, let me calculate it. Just answer the question, I'll let you calculate it. All right. Okay. All right, Ellis, I see you. Thank you so much, and thank you for your honesty with the question mark. Okay, Yosef, I see you. Hello, and welcome back. Okay, Fritz Prime, I think I saw you sneaking in here. Like sneaky, sneak, sneak. So what are we substituting in for the S in this equation? Okay. Now, let's take a look, because I think a lot of people are like, I'm just too busy calculating. So just like the other ones with the function notation, anything that was inside the parenthesis, that's what you're substituting in for the X. So what is actually going in for our equation? Let me write it up here. For our A of S is equal to our S squared. And they're saying our A of X plus 3, and they want to know what that's going to be. So you notice that the X plus 3, we got an expression that's inside the parenthesis just like the S is. Hey Danny Boo, how are you? So we're going to substitute or replace the S that's here with the X plus 3. So inside this parenthesis, we're going to have the X plus 3. Okay. So now, the left-hand side, we're not doing a thing with it. And we're only going to focus on this expression right here. So now, when you get an expression that you're substituting, your answer should also be an expression. What we did before, we substitute in a number for the X. And guess what we got out? A number. So it is going to give us an expression. So this is a squaring. Now, if we're saying X plus 3 squared, that means I am writing the base of the x plus 3 and I'm multiplying to itself twice. So you have x plus 3 and x plus 3. This is what that is. Okay? So we're squaring not just the x, not just the 3, we're actually writing that base out twice. So now this should look familiar. Okay? Yep, and both of them are going to be positive. There you go, Danny Boo. So if we look, we're multiplying. Always take a look in between the parentheses. If you don't see a plus or a minus sign, that means we're multiplying. And we can solve this one of two ways. We can either do the distributive property, well, since they're two binomials meaning two terms, okay? Since we have two binomials, we could do FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. Okay? But I try not to use the word FOIL too often. I say distribute. So I take that first term and I distribute to everything in that second parenthesis. So x times x, that gives me x squared. X times positive 3 will give me a positive 3x. Okay? So your answer is not, and I really want to emphasize it, it's not going to be x squared plus 9. No, you have to do this distribution. Now you're going to distribute the 3 to everything inside of that second parenthesis. So 3x means 3 times x. And 3 times 3 gives me the 9. Okay. Yes, you can do the box method, Caitlin. Perfect. Yes, you can. I particularly like the box method. But I like to show both ways so then people can decide which way they prefer. Okay. So now, take a look inside the not inside the parentheses. Take a look in the middle. There we go. We have what's called like terms. We have x here and we have x's there. And since they're both the same degree, we can combine what's called the coefficients, which is the numbers in front of the x's. So when we combine those two, 3 plus 3, that gives me 6x. So since that is a positive 6, I'm going to put a plus sign in front of it. So now we have our plus 9 to bring down, as well as the x squared. So now right here, we don't have any like terms, and this is another common mistake that people make. They think that x squared and x are like terms. Oh, they both have an x. True, but this has a degree of 2, whereas this has a degree of 1. So they are not like terms, so we cannot combine it. So you should not get an answer of 7x squared plus 9. Okay? You should not get an answer of x squared plus 9. You should get an answer of x squared plus 6 plus 9. This is your answer. So this is what the A of x plus 3 is. Okay, so as this was our original card, and I like to put the backings, answers on the back. Okay, so I've actually developed these cards, to help people as a refresher. Okay, so if anything, if you need more examples of function notations, and you like to have some of these cards, you can. Okay, and you just put your answers in the back. But as promised, I'm going to say the same formula or the same problem, but I'm going to do it using the box method. Okay, now I'm going to put my word or, And I remembered that we started off with the problem was x plus 3 squared. So anytime we have basically the two binomials, just like what we said before, this will be x plus 3 times x plus 3. And we can do what's called the box method. Since we know this is a binomial, so that means there's two terms there. And this is also a binomial, that is two terms there. So that means we need a 2 by 2 box. So that means we need 2 rows and 2 columns. So I'm going to draw it out with my little, and this is one of the reasons why I designed this book for math people. This is called my Ultimate Math Notebook. So it makes it nice and easy for people to sketch out things, to graph, and also to keep track of your notes. Okay? Hey Lynette, how are you? So now I'm going to take my first parenthesis and they're going to be on the side. So that means this one's going to be an x, this one's going to be a positive 3. So here for my columns, because these are my rows, rows goes left to right, columns go up and down. For my columns, I have x plus 3. So there'll be an x here and a plus 3 here. Okay. So to fill the boxes when you're doing the box method, okay, we are going to multiply to fill the boxes. So here we go. To fill this box, I need to multiply x and x squared. You see how I do this? To fill this box, the upper left-hand side, left corner, I multiply the x and the x. So x times x is not 2x, but it's x squared. Because remember, when you're multiplying, we don't see anything, assume that the exponents are 1. When you're multiplying with the same base, you add the exponents. Okay, so 1 plus 1, that's where the 2 came from. To fill this box, we're going to multiply the 3 and the x, which gives you 3x. To multiply the bottom left, I have to multiply x and the 3. That also gives me 3x. Sounds familiar so far? And for this last box, I have to multiply the 3 and the 3. So 3 times 3 gives me 9. Now, on the diagonal right here, look at this. We're going to add those two numbers together. There are like terms. Remember we saw that up here with the 3 plus 3? Okay, same thing, 3 plus 3. So how I would write it out is I will take my highest exponent, which is my x squared, and then I got a plus 6x because I add the 3x plus the 3x, and then what's remaining is my constant, which is a positive 9. Notice, two different ways, same result. Okay, so which way did you like? You can do FOIL, but you can also do the box method. Now, when you're taking these standardized tests, they really don't care which way you do it. They just want the answer. Is the answer choice A, B, C, or D? Okay? But no matter which way we did, you get the same result. All right? Okay. So we have one more. And I'm hoping that you guys are feeling, okay, I think I can handle this. I think I can do this. All right? So let me flip to my page. Let me go right from the beginning here. All right, so now another word problem. Again, do not freak out. I mean, you're going to do whatever you want to do, but you don't have to freak out. Because what are they giving me? Don't read the whole thing. Always look first for what you need to find. So they're saying a simplified expression for her profit. So P of H equals the R of H minus the E of H. So you're probably saying, okay, R of H, E of H, what is that? That's when you go to the paragraph. Sorry, I have a hot flash. Okay, so R of H, they gave us right here. Okay, I don't really care what her R of H is. I care about what is R of H, what am I going to replace. Then they have the E of H right there. So what do you think we're going to be doing with those two bits of information? What do you think we're going to be doing with those two bits of information? Exactly, Misha. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're going to substitute. And we're going to substitute just like we see it. Okay, so we have our P of H is equal to our R of H. And what's our R of H? Is 75H plus 100. And what are we going to do with the E of H? We're going to subtract it, and I'm going to put a parenthesis. Okay? I'm going to tell you why in a moment. My E of H is going to be my 15H plus 30. Okay? That's how you set it up. Okay? That's how you set it up. Yeah, I got you, Misha. Thank you. She's like, no, I can spell, I swear to you. All right? So they want us to figure out what P of H is. And I know a lot of you are like, oh man, this is so hard. Like, stop. All we're doing is subtracting polynomials. So we are going to subtract. So have you heard, let me take this away for a little bit. Have you heard of the phrase keep, flip, change? Okay? KFC. I know, Kentucky Fried Chicken. It helps people remember. Okay? K means keep. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep everything exactly the same with that 75H plus 100. F means flip. So that means we're going to take this minus sign and flip it, which the inverse of minus is plus. Then we're going to change all the signs of what's here in this parenthesis. So this will be a negative 15H and a negative 30. The reason why I have us do the keep, flip, change is this is what a lot of people generally do, and it messes you up all the time. Okay, and you have algebra, Jack Sparrow, this is the thing for you. We do very well with subtracting the 15H. So you would combine your like terms. So say 75 minus 15. Okay, and that gives us what? Not to insult your intelligence, just want to make sure you're with me. Okay, 75H minus 15H will give us what? What H? Okay, 75 minus 15. Thank you, Misha. All right, it's a little scary, I know, but you're going to have to take some of these exams. If you're taking the ASVAB and the Accuplacer, remember, you can't use a calculator. I know, yikes! So we got to practice up on these things. So we know that that will give us 60H. Okay, so we took care of the 75 and the negative 15. But this is the part that screws everybody up. Thank you, Unlimited. Everybody will take the 100 and then add the 30, and then you will write plus 130. That's incorrect. Thank you, Terry. I see you. Okay, that will be incorrect. York, I see you. Thank you. All right. The reason why it would be incorrect, because you are subtracting this whole expression. So that means you're subtracting the 15 as well as subtracting the 30. That's what gets everybody off. That's why we do the keep, flip, change. So now you have 100 minus 30, which gives us a positive 70. Okay, all right. So that's why we do those little nuances. That's why we have these little phrases. And that's the reason why I put a parenthesis around that 15h plus 30. Because I know I'm subtracting not just the 15, but I'm also subtracting the 30. Okay, all right. So this, if you're thinking of GED, okay, TEAS test, Accuplacer, and ASVAB, especially GED or high school equivalency test, this is a 4-point question. 1, it came from a word problem. 2, you had to do the solving. So 3, you can get your answer. This may be, or questions like this that some people generally skip, may be the reason you haven't gotten to that point yet. We need to get those 4-point questions down and solve it. So the triple SAT, yes, you can do that for the double SAT. Okay. I just try to get to the general ones, because if not, I'll just be going on and on about all the questions, all the problems. Okay. All right. So this is the basics. If you need more practice, okay, again, you can go to the link in my bio. Okay, so if you go, you click on my profile pic, it says Math by Audrey. All right, there's a link right here, right next to the link. The little down thing, you hit that. And there's a couple of things. If you want to, sorry about blinding you for 5 seconds. Okay, if you want to, you can just scroll up and you can get this free math checkup. See where you are. Take a look at all the concepts that's being addressed there. If you want, you can just click on that button and then take a quick little read. And all I ask is for your name and your email, just so I know who is looking at my stuff. This is a free one, and if you want, if you get stuck on any of them, you can send me a message, okay? If I take a look at the very beginning, right here, you can email me, okay? You can take a picture of your work, you can email me and send it directly. All right, if you want, you can always scroll down. We got talking about tutoring. If you like some of the flashcards, this one I actually have a back to school for those that needs to refresh. I have a huge sale on it. It's $22. You get the first 3 copies of digital copies of my book, and you can have that for you. All right, so take a scroll through it. If you have any questions, make sure you hit my profile pic. And if you also want to take a look at my YouTube channel, you could just click on here, and then you got to the YouTube channel. And you can take a look at all of my videos and my replays that I also have here off of TikTok. Okay? All right. So that's all we have for today. I'm going to see if I could do a little more geometry, but I won't be here tomorrow evening, but I will be here tomorrow morning. Okay, usually I'm here at like 7:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I will be back. If you're here for the evening, I'll be back here for Friday evening as well as Saturday. All right, everyone. So if you need anything, make sure you click on my profile pic and send me a message. That's the only way you can get your questions answered, if you send me a message. All right, everyone. Have an awesome day, and I will check with you next time. Take care. Bye now.